front of me that I know I should be doing. So when I don't want to do something, I think to myself, how pathetic is that there's something in the world that I'm scared of that I don't want to do, and instead of standing up and just doing it, I fall back and try and avoid it. So when there's something that you don't want to do, just get up, get out of bed, get off the chair, whatever you got to do to go and make it happen.
I got one.
Yeah.
There's some days I feel like 110%.
Okay, there's some days he feels like 110%.
And then some days I wake up with like a creeping self-doubt.
Some days he wakes up with a creeping self-doubt.
I guess, is there a mantra, something that you could give where you're like, just like a swift kick?
Is there a mantra or is there a swift kick? Yeah, so there's this little part in your head, this little voice in your head that's saying like, oh, you can't do this, or oh, you need more rest, or oh, I'm not sure if I want to do this today. And that little thing that's making that little noise, what you do is a pretty simple technique. You grab that thing by the throat and you slam it on the ground. And then you go do what you're supposed to do, man. Everybody in this room knows what they're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do every day to make yourself better, to make yourself healthier, to make yourself smarter. We all know what we're supposed to do every day. Imagine if you wrote down what you're supposed to do tomorrow to make yourself better, and then you went and actually did it. And then you did that the next day, and then you did that for a week, and then you did that for a month. It'd make you better and make everyone around you better. So when you hear that little voice telling you not to do something that's going to make you stronger and better and smarter, tell that little voice to be quiet. There's children in the room. Tell it to be quiet. There you go. One more. All right. I was going to say you, but you're both in the same spot. I was going to say the bald one, but you're both bald. So I'll say the one that raised his hand first, the one that's closer to us. What do you got? Yeah.
Is there a common excuse or something that people say to you that's looking back from past things that you do?
A common excuse.
Yeah, you hear from like people like us, just people like us.
Well, okay, I'll give it. You just gave it. You just gave it. He said, is there something you hear from, common excuse you hear from people like us? All right, from people like us. Meaning that you all are not like me. That I'm somehow different. That I wake up in the morning and I got dragon blood going through my system. Or I've got a heart that's made of metal that's pumping at a higher volume. The fact of the matter is that's not true. That right there is an excuse. I am just like everybody else. I'm flesh and bone. I make mistakes. I have weaknesses. I do things that are stupid. That is the biggest excuse that anybody makes. Is that it's easy for someone else. It's easy for Leif. It's easy for Jocko. It's easy for that person over there. It's not easy. Life isn't easy. Life wasn't supposed to be easy. Remember that. Life is hard. Life is real hard. So what you got to do is you got to be hard too.
The thing I'll add to that is that you gotta seek out and look to other folks and recognize how much harder they probably have it even than you do. Because we all fall into that excuse. Whether it's I don't want to get up early, whether it's I don't want to do this workout. When we're working with leaders and they're saying, well, it's harder for me in this situation than it is for other people. And one of the biggest kick in the pants that I got in that regard, I tore my ACL, tore my knee, destroyed my knee right after I got out of the Navy a few years ago. And I was laid up. I couldn't work out. It was infuriating to me. I was stressed out. It was one of the darkest times of my life. I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. I was supposed to run the New York City Marathon. I was living here at the time. I was going to run the New York City Marathon with a buddy of mine from Afghanistan that had lost both legs above the knee. He was going to hand cycle half of that and then run the other half. And I couldn't run with him. And I was really bummed out about that. And I went down to meet him at a bar in New York City, and there was a bunch of other wounded warriors from Walter Reed, from every service, Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force in there, a lot of amputees. They were all about to participate in the marathon. And I walk in there on crutches. I'm feeling sorry for myself about how my knee's all banged up. Yeah, right. And they looked at me, and one of the guys was like, hey, what happened to you? I was like, I tore my ACL. man, cut that thing off. That's what he said. And I'm talking to guys with double amputees that got no legs. Legs never going to go back. So that just was just a slap in the face to me. It's embarrassing. That, man, here I am feeling sorry for myself. This guy's out there getting after. He's about to go run the marathon with 2 prosthetic legs. My leg's going to recover. Yeah, sure, it'll be a little recovery there, but with discipline, I'll get back to where I need to be. So don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't give yourself that excuse, because what happens when you give yourself an excuse? You're going to fail, and you're never going to actually solve the problems. You're never going to get better, and you're never going to overcome those challenges. You're going to continue to stay where you are. So don't give yourself the excuse. It's not harder for you than it is for anybody else. There's a lot of people that got it a lot harder than you, and they're out there and they're getting after it.
Context.